off for Arizona, be doing Fox work from Super Bowl 57. That's our topic of conversation, shockingly so, here with the Eagles and the Chiefs getting ready to go in the big game on Sunday. Johnny Mac, no great surprise yesterday. One of the things, you got to get the whole media thing out of the way. Opening night, they did what they had to, but of actual consequence of what's going to happen in the game, not a great surprise yesterday that the Chiefs put Nicole Hardman on IR. And he had been pretty forthright with that since the game against the Bengals. He gave it a go. He tried. Fighting back from injury, just wasn't himself and came out of the game worse than when he went in. So they had to officially, well, they didn't have to, but they chose to put him on IR. I guess they want or need roster flexibility. But this whole past week, we've had pretty much an idea that Nicole Hardman was not going to be a factor in the game.
No. And he had barely played, tried to come back and got hurt again. So they had been playing without Nicole Hardman. It's not great. They don't have great receivers. Nicole Hardman wouldn't be a great receiver. He's not a great receiver, more of a manufactured touch guy. But, he is explosive. He would have helped from that perspective. Juju Smith-Schuster, it looks like he's going to play. He was banged up. They got a really fast kid, Justin Watson, but, he's sort of like their Quez Watkins. He can run by people, but he can't do much else. And then Marquez Valdez-Scantling, which I got a kick out of. I think it was Snead, the Chiefs' best corner, said, it's the best wide receiver he ever gone against. And he said, MBS. I go, come on, buddy. Come on. Yeah, you're going to see better receivers this week. The Eagles have a big advantage at that particular position. But when we look at positions, it's not the Eagles receivers don't play the Chiefs receivers and vice versa. Obviously, it's the other side. But, the Eagles match up well. Their corners, their secondary against those receivers. But I got to tell you, man, Patrick Mahomes, I don't know how he got to 5,200 yards, but he got to 5,200 yards. So he's the kind of guy who can elevate players around him. You say, well, what's Justin Watson going to do to you? Well, maybe not much until the big home run and he runs by people and Patrick Mahomes throws a dime. So you got to be very careful with this particular team because Andy can scheme it up and Patrick can make people better. You got to be careful. You can't take him for granted.
You mentioned Watson and also Quez Watkins. Is Quez Watkins still on the team? I just need to double check. It's been weeks since Quez Watkins did anything of consequence, and when last he did, that was not fighting hard enough for a couple of Gardner Minshew interceptions against the Dallas Cowboys. He's still on the team, is he not, John?
Yeah, he is, and we go all the way back on this show. How many shows are we at, Jody? I haven't asked you in a while.
460.
460? I thought we were over 500.
No, we're still in the 460s.
All right. So we've been doing this show for a long period of time, and you go back to last off season before all the machinations started, and you remember, Tone says 519. But anyway, all the machinations started and all the way back in the offseason. You remember before the Eagles went after Christian Kirk, tried to trade for Calvin Ridley, blah, blah. They tried to talk you into Quez Watkins being the second receiver. Remember we had fans saying, well, Quez Watkins could be a second receiver of the NFL. No, you didn't want that. Remember they talked about the corners, the young corners, the Kerry Vincents of the world. The Tay Gowans of the world who aren't even here, the Mac McCains of the world who's still on the practice squad, Zach McPherson. Oh, yeah, they're going to be a good compliment. And then you get James Bradbury. I always say, don't listen to what a team says, watch what they do. The Eagles knew they needed to get better at wide receiver. They got a great wide receiver in A.J. Brown. DeVonta Smith has continued to develop, and Quez Watkins has settled in as the third receiver where he should be. But I got to tell you, that's one of the few spots I can say the Eagles probably need to get a little bit better there. They need to get a little bit better at the third receiver spot. Now we're nitpicking, but yeah, I mean, he can run by people and he can't do much else, which is sort of what Justin Watson does for the Chiefs.
Right.
Same thing.
Two complementary type pieces. I guess I was leaning toward, what do you think the chances are in this game? We know what Quez's role is. It's limited. It's not much. They actually get themselves in trouble when they try and broaden his role on any given game. That Cowboy loss. Is Quez going to get the ball thrown to him long? Is Kansas City the kind of team where they may be able to get sucked up and Quez can get behind somebody? And if he does, will they call that number?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, if the Eagles are running the football running the football well, they can suck people up and, you know, get Quez behind people. And then sure, they might, you know, they're willing to take a shot. I had no problems taking a shot to Quez Watkins down the field. It's when, as you mentioned, that Cowboys game, it's when you're using A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith as decoys and trying to get the football to Quez Watkins. Yeah, I got a problem with that. Over the middle of the field, especially.
Don't think that will be happening this week. Just prediction on the Eagles play calling. But you never know. That's the beauty of it. We got to wait till Sunday, tune in, see how it turns out. But we're projecting. Did you see a projection yesterday? Some Eagle fans may get excited about this, but then I'll bring them back down to earth. They played Super Bowl 57 on the latest version of Madden yesterday. John, had you seen this?
I have not.
You had not.
I had
plugging in all the guys with their numbers, what they've done. Some people swear by Madden. I think there are people that gamble out there by using Madden to determine which sides they actually want to bet.
I don't think they're successful, but go ahead.
Don't know if they are or aren't, but I guarantee you there are some that swear by it so much that they actually put their hard-earned money behind it. Well, not only are the Philadelphia Eagles going to win Super Bowl 57, they're going to win it handily by 2 touchdowns as per Madden.
It's a savvy video game. It's a savvy video game, Jody McDonald. Look, I've said if this game's going to be a blowout, I said it yesterday on the show. If there is going to be a 2-touchdown winner, it's going to be the Eagles. They're the team, and I've given you my riser theory, where, you know, Super Bowl opening night, the risers for the star players, all you got to do is look at the names. After you get by Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, here were the names for the Chiefs that got the riser treatment. Frank Clark, you know, at one time was a very good pass rusher, certainly a descending player now. Orlando Brown, very good player. But, you know, it's Orlando Brown. Juju Smith-Schuster, their best receiver, kind of run-of-the-mill. Isaiah Pacheco, rookie 7th-round running back we just talked about from Vineland. Great story, but Isaiah Pacheco. Nick Bolton, pretty good linebacker. L'Jarius Sneed, their best corner. Jerick McKinnon, their 3rd down back. That's the riser treatment for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if you go 5-11 on the Eagles, you got a Hall of Fame right tackle, Lane Johnson. Jordan Mailata, you know, part of that is the Australia part, but I mean, you know, he started to dominate again now that he's healthy. Hassan Reddick, who's an all-pro, 2nd-team all-pro. Brandon Graham, over double-digit sacks. We know about his history. Pro Bowl alternate Fletcher Cox, Pro Bowl alternate Darius Slay, all-pro corner Miles Sanders, Pro Bowl running back. Big difference in talent as you go down the roster.
I agree with your just general concept. I keep disrespecting Frank Clark. I still think he is someone the Eagles are going to have to keep their eye on Sunday.
I've seen, no offense to Frank Clark, Jody, and no offense to you, but I just saw Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson dominate Nick Bosa. I'm not worried a hoot about Frank Clark. Now, you can talk me into Chris Jones. Chris Jones is a great player. If Frank Clark wrecks this game, man, I will be stunned against those tackles.
I still think he's a legit pass rusher, so I would not be dismissive of him. I don't know about wrecking the game, but I think he could make a big play on Sunday. I think he's still got those kind of pass rushing skills. And yeah, it'd be interesting. Is Kansas City going to do what San Francisco did? They did move Bosa around. Because, by the way, Lane Johnson shut him down like he shuts everybody else down. So let's move him to the other side. And he didn't get all that much done against Mailata either. So it'll be interesting to see how Kansas City, if they do any flip-flopping. Here's one thing that I will say, and it may come at a price that the Kansas City Chiefs will have to pay. Either they'll cash the check or it'll be come back bounced. Spagnuolo's going to blitz. He's going to blitz more than Jonathan Gannon will. Jonathan Gannon won't blitz for two reasons. Number one, he doesn't really like to blitz all that much. And number two, he doesn't need to blitz all that much because they get there with four. And number three, if you don't have to blitz Patrick Mahomes, you don't want to blitz Patrick Mahomes because he's the best pickup blitz artist in the entire National Football League. So, yeah, there'll be very few Eagle blitzes. Spagnuolo's going to blitz. He always does. He always has. He will. I don't think there's any question that the Chiefs are going to pick and choose their spots, but they're going to come after Jalen Hurts with more than just four. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, well, part of it is I think they have to because they don't have the pass rush the Eagles have. I mean, they have one very good defensive lineman, as I mentioned, and he might be the best defensive lineman in the NFL, at least this year. He's in the conversation, and that's Chris Jones. Other than that, you like Frank a little bit more than I do at this stage of his career. George Karlaftis is a rookie. He struggled. That's understandable. Carlos Dunlop is an average player. And then the guys inside, Derek Nottie, Kalen Saunders, Michael Dana. I mean, compare that to the Eagles' defensive line. Now, unfortunately, they're not playing each other, as we said, but the Eagles' offensive line, they're dominating superstar players, and they have been in this run. Dexter Lawrence, Nick Bosa, had this run to the Super Bowl. And then the Eagles' defensive line, my God, that's deep. I was just going over it. You forget, Jody. You forget sometimes. On the edge, it's Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham. And then inside, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, Linval Joseph, Ndamukong Suh, Milton Williams.
Played well.
Down to Jordan Davis. And people are disappointed at Jordan Davis because this group is so stinking deep. He's a luxury, just like Cam Jurgens was a luxury this year, just like Nakobe Dean. That is the deepest defensive line I have ever seen. At guys that can keep that starting level performance. They're not all superstars, but they can keep that starting level performance where you see other teams, and I just mentioned the names of Kansas City, you have this incredible drop-off.
And, by the way, you ran down the list, and you never got to Robert Quinn. Shockingly. How did you not?
I should have got Robert. I should have got, I hear what you're saying, and that's the one move where people say hasn't worked out for Howie. That's their fourth edge rusher. That's pretty good as a fourth edge rusher.
Yeah, but wait till April when we realize the Eagles don't have a fourth-round draft pick, and they go, "What'd they do it there for?" Oh, they gave it for Robert.
As long as would you trade a fourth-round pick for a Lombardi Trophy? Who cares at that point? If you have the Lombardi Trophy,
come on, now, Eagle fan, John, you're not going to run that by Eagle fans. If the Eagles win the Lombardi Trophy, you know what it's going to have to do with Robert Quinn? Zero.
No, it's not going to have. It's not going to, it's more of if you win a Lombardi Trophy because you're trying to seize the moment, and it didn't work out. I'm not saying it worked out unless he makes a big play in the Super Bowl. And I don't foresee it because he's not going to play that much. He's only going to have 8 opportunities because he doesn't have to play that much because they're so damn deep on the defensive line. So I don't think it's going to work out. But I'm saying at the end of the day, I agree with the sentiment of Howie Roseman. Windows open, let's go for it. At the time, I think I needed another edge rusher. I didn't, but who cares about a 4th-round pick is what I'm saying, if they win the Lombardi Trophy.
But what I said was come April. By April, there will be.
They want another one. They always want more.
That many more days between the parade and the actual draft. Come April, people are going to go, yeah, so what? Screw the 4th-round pick. We won the Super Bowl. They're going to go, wait a minute. We traded the 4th-round pick for Robert Quinn. Howie, that's where Howie. I'm just saying, when we get to the draft next week, if there's a parade, nobody's going to go, yeah, but we don't have that 4th-round pick. It's going to be all a massive celebration. I'm moving the needle ahead to April.
No, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. But also, a lot of those critics will be the same people that say Howie can't draft, and yet they're worried about a 4th-round pick. So it doesn't matter. It's sort of like the critics of the Eagles, and they didn't play anybody, but they have so much talent, anybody could coach the team. It doesn't make sense. So you can't say, oh, we need that 4th-round pick. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying the fans. We need that 4th-round pick, but Howie screws up too many draft picks anyway. Can't have it both ways. Can't have, but I hear what you're saying.
Understood. And Howie took a couple of guys early this year that didn't even need to be used. Not necessarily that they couldn't be used, but the Eagles had guys in front of them, so they got to give them red shirt years, and hopefully they pay dividends down the road. Did pick up Reed Blankenship as an undrafted free agent, which for me counts as the draft. Just because you got the word "un" in front of does not preclude from adding a player and getting credit for it. Howie Roseman should get just that for getting Reed Blankenship, a guy who's needed to start games for the Eagles this year.
Yeah. How about if Reed Blankenship was a 2nd-round pick, you'd be happy.
Right.
Yeah. So it all, yeah. But nobody's going to look at it that way. But you're right. Undrafted rookies count. And the Eagles found a diamond in the rough to the point where you start to say, well, the Eagles are going to try to get C.J. Gardner-Johnson back, depending on his cost. And if they do, the other starting safety is probably more likely to be Reed Blankenship than Marcus Epps. And if they can't get C.J. Gardner-Johnson, it's probably likely to be penciled in as Marcus Epps and Reed Blankenship. That's how well he's played.
And, oh, by the way, again, sorry, Eagle fans, I just got to give you an honest opinion. I don't think C.J. Gardner-Johnson is going to give them a quote-unquote hometown discount either. There are 2 guys who are coming off their rookie contracts and getting their first big payday that you can't expect them to, just because the Eagles had this great year, which hopefully ends in a Super Bowl victory next week, that the guys are going to say, here's what I'm worth on the open market. I hit free agency. I'm offered this by Team X. I'll play for minus X for the Philadelphia Eagles because I love my town and I love my team. No, Chauncey was happy down in New Orleans.
Yeah, he loved New Orleans and left.
And the Saints sent him packing because his contract demands were, they thought, on the outrageous side. And that's why they were willing to give up with him. Do you think he's going to come here and go, all right, yeah, Philly, it's such a good time, such a Super Bowl champion. Thanks for the ring. And, oh, by the way, I'll take 30% less than what I'm actually worth. Not happening.
I'm going to give you the list of hometown discounts. I'm going to give you the list. Jason Kelsey, if he comes back, and Brandon Graham. That's it. End of list. End of list. Everybody else, you're right about guys going off their rookie deals into their second contracts, especially. James Bradbury's already on record. Great guy. Look, last chance to make big money. Just played a big, had a career year. You're not giving discounts. Nobody's giving discounts except Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham.
And we'll see if either or both of those 2 guys could walk away. I actually believe it's going to be neither. It's 90% on BG coming back, wants to come back. Jason is more like a 50-50 shot and maybe even 60-40 leaning toward retirement. I'm on the 40 side, though. I think Jason Kelsey's going to be back. But again, we got a lot of time to debate that after the Eagles play their last game of the season, which will be Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to talk about the matchup and a little Hall of Fame conversation with our next guest, longtime NFL writer, reporter, and author Jason Cole's going to join us. Coming up next here on Birds 365.